we've got some incredibly tragic news, and that is that Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota has died in a car accident in Spain.
He was a man in motion, at the height of his powers, a Premier League champion, a national hero, a father, a husband, a brother, a son, and now, gone. In the early hours of a quiet Thursday morning, the football community was shaken to its core. Diogo Jota, a star on the rise, beloved by fans and teammates alike, had died in a devastating car crash in Spain. Alongside him was his younger brother Andre Silva. 2 lives, 2 dreams, extinguished in an instant. The crash took place on July 3rd, shortly after midnight, on the A52 highway in Zamora province in northwestern Spain. The road winds through the countryside near the Portuguese border, a route often used by locals and travelers alike. It was here, near the small town of Cernadilla, that the Lamborghini carrying Diogo and Andre veered off the road and caught fire after a suspected tire blowout. Both men were killed on the spot. The flames were so intense that investigators could not visually identify the bodies. It was Diogo's wife, Ruth Cardoso, who had to do what no loved one should ever be asked to: formally identify her husband and brother-in-law. It is a detail that adds an even deeper layer of heartbreak to an already unbearable tragedy. Just days before the accident, CNN's Portugal's sports editor, Rui Laura, said, "The surgery he had was lung surgery, and he had an overnight stop in Benavente, partway along the journey, but they would never make it to the ferry. The road claimed their lives." Road marks left behind at the scene supported this theory. As per protocol, the Guardia Civil began an official investigation, and a full report is to be submitted to a duty court in Zamora. Meanwhile, questions are being raised about the condition of the A52 highway itself. Locals have long described it as unsafe, with one calling it a goat track, riddled with potholes and poor maintenance. Though many have speculated whether the road's state contributed to the crash, investigators have not confirmed any such link. In the passenger seat that night was Andre Silva, Diogo's 25-year-old brother. Like his older sibling, Andre had a love for football. While he hadn't made it to the heights of European elite clubs, he played in Portugal's second division and remained closely bonded with Diogo on and off the pitch. They were more than brothers. They were best friends, teammates in life, and now eternal companions in death. The loss of Diogo Jota hits especially hard because of what he represented, not just as a footballer, but as a human being. His story wasn't one of early fame or instant stardom. He came from a modest background and rose through the ranks the hard way. He didn't grow up in the spotlight of Portugal's big 3 clubs, Benfica, Sporting, or Porto. Instead, he came up through smaller sides, proving himself with grit and determination at every step. Eventually, he earned a move to FC Porto, followed by a transfer to Atletico Madrid, then a breakout spell at Wolverhampton Wanderers. In 2020, he was signed by Liverpool for over £40 million. It was a major leap, and he delivered. Jota became a key club, including the Premier League title in May 2025, just weeks before the crash. For Portugal, he played 49 times and helped secure 2 UEFA Nations League titles. Jota's style of play was intense and selfless, knew his worth. His number 20 shirt had become a symbol of quiet brilliance at Anfield. Off the pitch, he was just as admirable. On June 22nd, only 10 days before the accident, Diogo married his longtime partner, Ruth Cardoso, the mother of his 3 children. She had shared photos from their wedding day on social media, writing, "My dream came true." Now, in a cruel twist of fate, that dream is shattered. The man she married, the father of her children, is gone, taken before he could even return from the honeymoon glow. News of Jota's passing spread fast, and the world responded with an outpouring of grief. Liverpool Football Club issued a statement expressing their devastation. Fans began to gather outside Anfield, laying flowers, scarves, and notes of love and remembrance. The pain was written across their faces. Supporters from all walks of life, united in sorrow. Jurgen Klopp, who had personally brought Jota to Liverpool, shared a deeply emotional tribute. "There must be a bigger purpose, but I can't see it." Diogo was not only a fantastic player, but a great friend, a loving husband, and father. "We will miss him so much." Cristiano Ronaldo, who played alongside Jota for Portugal, wrote, "It doesn't make sense. Just now we were together with the national team. You had just gotten married. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre." Even rival clubs expressed their condolences. Manchester City posted a photo of Jota and Bernardo Silva, emphasizing that in moments like these, football comes together. The Portuguese Football Federation described Jota as an extraordinary person, known for his joy, respect, and presence within the team and the broader community. In Portugal, a moment of silence is being held before every match of the Women's European Championship. starting with the national team's game against Spain. Flags are flying at half-mast. Football has paused, not for a result or a protest, but for a soul lost far too soon. And in a quiet home in Gondomar, Portugal, Joaquim and Isabel are living every parent's worst nightmare. In a single night, they lost both of their sons, Diogo and Andre. The grief they face is immeasurable. One son was a star who lit up stadiums in England, wore Portugal's colors on the world stage, and earned his place among football's elite. The other was chasing his own path, fighting with quiet determination to carve out a name for himself in the Portuguese leagues. Now, both are gone, and the house that once echoed with ambition, laughter, and the sounds of boys kicking respect. Back in Jota's hometown of Masarelos, his legacy remains etched in the walls of the football academy that bears his name. On those walls is a mural that says, "It doesn't matter where you come from, but where you're going." That sentence now carries the weight of finality. Diogo Jota came from humble beginnings, but where he was going, the legacy he was building, was destined for greatness. Diogo Jota leaves behind a legacy of more than goals or silverware. He leaves behind a story of hard work, humility, love, and family. He leaves behind a wife, 3 children, grieving parents, and a nation, and a football world left wondering why the good ones go too soon. As his journey has come to an end, the mark he left on the game and in the hearts of those who watched him will never fade. Rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Rest in peace, Andre Silva. You will never walk alone.